In every flock of chickens, there's the biggest, strongest chicken, and he can eat whatever he wants and take whoever's food and make them move and, do whatever he wants. And the next one down is usually the oldest female, and she can pick on everybody except for this guy. And then the next one down can pick on everybody except for the ones above them, and it keeps going all the way down to the bottom of the pecking order. And I was like, ooh, what does the bottom of the pecking order look like? She said, oh, it's kind of sad. She lives behind the shed. I was like, what? So she said, let me go find her. So she went behind the shed and she picked her up. And this like beat up little chicken, right? It looked like it was ready for Burger King. It was going to be like, dang, right? It was like, you all right? So Sarah said, watch this thing's life. So she set it down on the grass. She got some corn. She went and put the corn in front of it. It started eating the corn because they like corn. It started eating the corn, and immediately, like 5 other chickens came over and started pecking it in the head. And it ran behind the shed, and they ate the food until other ones came over and pecked those ones in the head, and then they ran away, and then other ones came over until the big guy showed up, and they all scattered. And then he ate all he wanted and left, and then it kind of went in reverse order. They all started coming back when the ones that hurt them left. And I was like, this reminds me, not here, not in Idaho, mostly in Utah. It reminds me of school. Because we do that same thing. We establish a pecking order at school. I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, I'm older than you, therefore I can cross boundaries. Now, how much do you think this happens in first grade? Actually, very little. 1 out of 200 kids reports being bullied in first grade. That means one kid's like, eat this blue. Everybody else is like, let's be friends. But watch what happens. In 2nd grade, 4 kids who were not bullying last year are now bullying other kids. Where did those 4 kids learn that they need to be rude and cross boundaries? Well, it keeps going up. In 3rd grade, it goes up again. And then for some reason, across the country, it goes down in 4th grade, but up in 5th and 6th. It's almost like as a people, we're like, we should be nice. Nah. Now look at the growth from 1st grade to 6th grade, where it was 1 out of 200. It's now basically 1 out of 12, 1 out of 14 who are being bullied. That's a huge jump. But then something happens. I'm not sure what it is. I think it has something to do with puberty.
I know.
People are like, my body's changing. I need to be mean. All right. This isn't a contest, but look, guess where bullying peaks out. Bullying is at its worst. 8th grade is the worst. Guess what happens after that? It goes down after that. People's brains start to fully develop. And they're like, wait. Some kids here were like, last year they thought, wait, when I'm mean, I don't have friends. And so it goes down, and then 10th, 11th, and 12th are pretty much the same, and apparently you end up acting like a 6th grader for the rest of your life. Now, why does this happen? That's the big question. Why this big jump, right? This is going to be probably normal human behavior, it's going to happen, but this doesn't have to happen, right? These 5th graders don't have to be mean. 6th graders don't have to do this. You 8th graders don't have to do this. Why does it happen? Well, two reasons. Number one, is that usually students in these age groups do not like themselves, and so they take that out on other people. They don't like themselves, so in an effort to make themselves feel better, they attack someone else. You can almost tell every time that if someone's hurting someone else, that they have a problem with themselves. All right, now, if someone's bullying you, I wouldn't recommend you walk up going, we talked about this. You have a serious problem with yourself. I wouldn't do that.
I do.
But just know, that's usually what's going on. If someone's bullying you, it's usually not about you, it's usually about them. They're struggling in some way. The other part of this is that people think they're funny, but they're not. Any of you know someone who thinks they're funny, but they're really just rude? Anyone? You can point them out to me if you'd like. Just kidding. No, don't point them out. All right. I want to show you.
He's talking about.
I want to show you that you can be funny and be nice. People make a lot of money doing this. This is Ellen, if you've ever heard of Dory. She said, most comedy is based on getting a laugh at somebody else's expense. I just find that's a form of bullying in a major way. I want to be the example that you can be funny and be kind. You can make someone laugh without hurting somebody's feelings. Let me show you how this might work. So, This girl right here is Cheyenne Johnson. This is a true story. Cheyenne Johnson was, when she got in to be a ninth grader at her school, so just a little bit, one grade above you guys, she became the bottom of the pecking order. She was an easy target, right? You get it. She had some disabilities. She had a mental disability. Made her say things at the wrong time. Made her do things at the wrong time. She was easy to laugh at. She didn't know how to really fight back. And so people started picking on her. Not outright picking on her. No one really does that. No one walked up to her like, I'm going to hurt you. No. It was mostly just subtle things. They would throw things at her. They would make her say weird things. They're like, hey, Cheyenne, what do you think, right? And she would say something dumb, and they would all laugh. They would push their friends into her. I'm not quite sure what that was all about. But they would, if they saw her, they'd see their friend between her and them, and they're like, oh, this will be funny. So they would shove their friends into her to knock her over. Anyway, it got so bad that the third week of school comes, and she doesn't show up. Mom goes into her bedroom, and Cheyenne's in bed. She's like, Cheyenne, what are you doing? And she rolls over, and she goes, Mom, I'm so sick. And her mom's like, you're sick? Why didn't you tell me? She's like, I just don't feel good. And she's like, oh, okay. Do you need to stay home from school? And she's like, I think so. I think I need to stay home. You guys have all tried this. I think I need to stay home. All right. And her mom's like, okay, I'll stay home from work with you today. Her mom's a single mom. She said, I'll stay home from work with you today. And she said it was fine until about 3:20, which is the exact moment that school gets out. And she said at the right moment that school got out, Cheyenne was fine. She got up, she's like, what time is it? 3:20. Oh. And she had a great day, and she acted totally normal. And her mom's like, that's weird. But I guess she's fine, so whatever. So the next day, she goes into her room. This is Tuesday morning. She walks into her room, and Cheyenne's in bed again. She's like, Cheyenne, what are you doing? And it was actually pretty funny because her mom said, I looked at her like, what's wrong? And she goes, I'm sick again. And her mom's like, this is amazing, Cheyenne. You only seem to get sick when you're supposed to be at school. She's like, I know, right? And so her mom said she's not a very good liar. So I just sat her up and I said, Cheyenne Johnson, are you lying to me? She's like, no. Her mom goes, why are you lying to me? I'm not. She said, Cheyenne, I don't know why you're lying to me. I can't believe you're lying to me, but you're going to school. She said she walked over to get her clothes out of the closet. She turns around with her clothes, and this girl is bawling. She's like, Mom, please don't make me go. Her mom's like, she's totally shocked. Like, what is that? She's like, Mom, please don't make me go. Please don't make me go. Why? They're so mean. They're so mean. Who's mean to you, sweetheart? Everyone. They're all so mean. Was everyone? Not even close. It was just a small group of people. But in her mind, it was everybody. And so her mom didn't know what to do. She's like, Cheyenne, it's okay. She kind of hugged her for a second. She said, let me call the school. So she called the school and she talked to the vice principal. Do you have a scary vice principal or teacher?
No.
So she called him and he said, if you can give me the names of who's doing this, I will call them down and I will make sure I put the fear of God in them. And they're like, and he said, just give me their names. And Cheyenne, she said, Cheyenne, who is it? She said, it's everyone. And the vice principal was like, I can't do that. You're not, right? Well, everyone, please come to the office. Right? So he said, as soon as Cheyenne can give me some names, he said, I would love to help you, Mrs. Johnson, but there are 3,500 students in this school. I would love to help you, but I'm going to need some names. And she said, okay, I'll call you later. And she talked to Cheyenne. She's like, Cheyenne, who is it? And like I told you, Cheyenne has some disabilities. She would struggle naming people, right? She struggles naming people she knows, let alone people she doesn't know. And so they kind of sat there all day. She didn't go to school, and her mom's like, what am I going to do? She has to go to school, but I can't follow her around, right, and get these names. And then she had an idea. There's a kid that lives 5 houses away. His name is Carson Jones. They don't know Carson very well. I mean, it's like you and your neighbors where you're like, hey, don't talk to me. I mean, they know him, but they don't know. I mean, the last they saw him when he used to come by trick-or-treating, right? So they said, well, her mom was like, I didn't have anywhere else to turn. So she walks down to Carson's house. She knocks on the door. Carson's the typical boy. Girls, if you don't know a typical boy, this is the first thing that runs through Carson's mind. He gets a knock on the door. It's an adult saying, can I talk to Carson? His first thought was, I didn't do it. He was like, it was not me. Girls, you'd be shocked how quickly a boy will throw his friend under the bus. He's like, it was him. So, Carson comes to the door kind of like, yeah? And she said, Carson, do you know my daughter Cheyenne? And he's like little Cheyenne? He didn't want to say the girl with disabilities, right? He's just like, little Cheyenne? She said, yeah, little Cheyenne, she's probably a little bit different than everybody else. And she said, yeah. He said, yeah, I know her. And she said, well, and she explained the problem. And she said, I don't need you to do anything. I'm just hoping that you'll follow her around tomorrow. I'm going to make her go to school. She'll be fine. She's got to develop, she's got to be tough. And if you'll just follow her around, and just if you see this, just write down the names, and then I can give the names to the vice principal, and hopefully we can stop this. And he's like, sure. He's super tall. He has a big neck. He'll be fine. So look how big his neck is. If your neck is as wide as your head.
Okay, then I tried.
You have a strong neck. So he follows her around the next day, and he said nothing happened for the first hour. She was totally fine for the first hour of school. You guys know how the first hour of school is. Everyone's like, am I awake? And then he said the second hour, everyone starts, everyone's waking up, and they're like, I'm in school. And he said people were just trying to be funny. It wasn't really like they wanted to hurt her. They were just thinking they were so funny. And he said, so he's writing down these names. Somebody threw a pizza crust at her. Another kid trying to shock his friends. He walked up to her, and he opened up her shirt, the front of her shirt, and he threw some trash down her shirt. And his friends were like, oh, I can't believe you did that, right? It was so funny. And so he wrote down all these names, but he noticed something. This is what I want you to hear. He noticed that when he stood next to her, or close enough to her, it didn't happen. Like, he would be standing within a couple of feet of her, and he was just watching, and he said some kid would, go to throw something, and his buddy would be like, dude, stop. And he's like, what? And he goes, dude, look, the neck. And he said they'd just stop. And he's like, oh, that's interesting. I didn't even have to say anything. He's like, I didn't say anything, I just stood there, and it stopped. So that night he called Mrs. Johnson on the phone. He said, Mrs. Johnson, here's all the names I got. It'd be funny if you called the vice principal and got them all in trouble. He said, but I really don't think it's going to happen again. And she's like, you're not going to hurt them, are you? He said, no. He goes, I have an idea. And he explained his idea. And she almost started crying. She was like, Carson, that would be amazing. If you would be willing to do that, that would be. He said, it's no big deal. It'd be easy. So the next morning, Cheyenne gets up. It's now Thursday morning. And she said, Cheyenne's mom, please don't make me go to school. And her mom goes, Cheyenne, did you notice a tall boy following you around yesterday? She's like, yes, there's this tall boy. Everywhere I was, that's where he was. And she said, watch for him when you get off the bus today, because I want you to meet him. And she's like, okay. So she gets off the bus, and Carson is there with his two buddies. This is Colton, this is Tanner. And I guess he called them the night before and was like, meet me where the kids get dropped off. The buses, right? And they were like, yes, sir, Mr. Knapp. So they're